Distinguished dignitaries on the dais, respected members of the faculty, and my dear students. Jamal Muhammad College, Tiruchirappalli is one of the oldest colleges of Tamil Nadu and has a well-deserved reputation for excellence. It's an honor and privilege to address you on the occasion of your 74th College Day celebrations. Have you ever wondered what makes a college great? Or for that matter, what makes a company or a sports team or an army or a nation great? How did Zahiruddin Babur, with just 12,000 soldiers, defeat Sultan Ibrahim Lodi with 1 lakh soldiers in the first battle of Panipat in 1526? Why have nations like Singapore, South Korea, and Japan surged ahead in development and prosperity despite being smaller in size and having fewer natural resources than India? The answer lies in 2 things: the quality of human resources and how well they are organized. A college does not become great merely because it has a vast campus or big buildings or the latest equipment or a fine of library books. These are necessary but not sufficient conditions. A college becomes great because of the vision of its leadership, the dedication of its teaching and non-teaching staff, and the quality and hard work of its students. It is the culture of discipline, teamwork, and relentless pursuit of excellence that sets an institution apart. Jamal Muhammad College stands as a testament to these principles. I take this opportunity to congratulate the college on what it has achieved so far, and I hope it will go on to achieve even greater laurels in the years to come. From organizational success, let us now move on to personal success. I am sure that a question that is uppermost in the minds of all of you is, how can I be successful in life? It's a legitimate question. Success is not an accident. It's a matter of choice and not chance. As the saying goes, only a crackpot waits for a jackpot. If you study the life stories of successful people, you will learn a few key lessons common to all of them. They are: 1, you need to be focused on your goal. 2, you need to put in an enormous amount of hard work backed by talent and some luck. 3, you should learn how to cope with failures and handle pressure. 4, you should cultivate the habit of original thinking. And 5, you should cultivate the habit of critical thinking or scientific temper. Let me elaborate. Dear students, your first key to success is that you must have a clear and unwavering focus on your goal. I am sure you would have seen one of those African wildlife documentaries in which a cheetah attacks a herd of deer. The cheetah initially selects one deer as its prey, and it is so intent on pursuing that one deer that it ignores all others. Some of the frenzied deer may be running alongside the cheetah or even towards it for a brief while, but the cheetah ignores them all. It runs on, its eyes fixed on the one deer it has selected, and ultimately catches it. The lesson is clear. Like the cheetah, you must tune out distractions and stay committed to your goal. Those who achieve greatness in any field, academics, sports, arts, business, or government, share this ability to focus. A clear focus is like a sharp knife that cuts through obstacles effortlessly. In today's world of mobile phones and social media, distractions are everywhere. However, focus is a skill that can be developed. Without it, meaningful success is impossible. Set your sights on your goal, block out distractions, and pursue it with determination. Dear students, your second key lesson is that success is achieved through a combination of hard work, talent, and luck. I would say it is roughly 50% hard work, 25% talent, and 25% luck. Effort is fully within your control, talent is partly within your control, and luck is beyond your control. Nothing great is achieved without hard work. There is no magic wand for success. If you aim for an IIM, you may need to study for at least 6 to 8 hours every day for 6 months. If you aim for the IAS, you will need to study 10 to 12 hours every day for at least 1 year. Sachin Tendulkar used to practice batting 8 hours a day. Charles Darwin spent 5 years on the ship HMS Beagle, circumnavigating the world and collecting various specimens, and then another 22 years writing his magnum opus on the origin of species. When asked how he played the violin so well, the Austrian maestro Fritz Kreisler replied, "It is hard work. If I don't practice for a month, the audience can tell the difference. If I don't practice for a week, my wife can tell the difference. If I don't practice for a day, I can tell the difference." Remember the beautiful lines from the poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow? "The heights by great men, reached and kept, were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their comrades slept, were toiling upwards through the night." While hard work is very important, it needs to be backed by talent. When I said talent is partly in your control, I meant talent is partly nature. You are born with some talents and without others, and partly nurture. Your talent can be sharpened and developed through effort. It would have been obviously foolish for me to attempt a place in the Indian cricket team, as I simply did not possess that kind of talent. I know many individuals who aspired to build a career in sports or music, but fell short because they lacked the necessary talent to reach the top. It is crucial to judge your strengths and weaknesses correctly and not chase unrealistic dreams. Even with talent and effort, luck plays a role. That's why we wish people best of luck before important events. When a newly appointed Major General was introduced to Napoleon Bonaparte as a very capable officer, Napoleon is supposed to have said, "He may be competent, but is he lucky?" Even highly talented individuals owe some of their success to luck. Take Bill Gates, for instance. While undeniably brilliant and hardworking, he was lucky to be born into a wealthy family that sent him to an upmarket private school in Seattle, one of the few schools with computer access in the 1960s. His parents' influence helped him get access to the computers in Seattle University, which was close to his house, during night hours. And because of that, he was able to put in 10,000 hours of coding practice even before graduating high school. Bill Gates was also lucky because IBM made a crucial mistake by choosing to outsource its operating system for its personal computer instead of developing it in-house. Gates seized the opportunity, secured the contract, and the rest, as they say, is history. Dear students, your third key lesson is that success isn't just about winning. It's also about how you handle pressure and cope with failures. In other words, how mentally tough you are. Life is never a smooth ride. Failures are a part and parcel of it. Many persons choke under pressure in exams, sports, or cultural events and underperform. The South African cricket team is a classic example. Some take defeats and failures so badly that they even resort to suicide. Remember Winston Churchill's famous words, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts." Let me tell you the story of a man who failed in business twice, lost his sweetheart at the age of 26, had a nervous breakdown at 27, lost 5 successive elections, was elected president at 52, and became one of USA's greatest presidents. That man was Abraham Lincoln. Or consider the life story of the British writer J.K. Rowling. Before her Harry Potter novels became a global phenomenon, she was a penniless divorcee, raising a child alone, battling depression, and receiving countless rejections letters from publishers. Today, she is wealthier than the British monarch. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player ever, once wasn't selected for his high school team. Instead of giving up, he worked harder and became a legend. He famously said, "I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I have been entrusted to take the game-winning shot and I missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeeded." Life isn't a 100 meters dash, it's a marathon race. Even if you stumble and fall, you can always pick yourself up and run on and win the marathon race. So don't get disheartened by temporary failures or overwhelmed by pressure situations. The great English writer Oliver Goldsmith said, "Our greatest glory consists not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." True success lies in this ability to bounce back from setbacks. Cultivate resilience and mental toughness, and success will follow. Dear students, your 4th key lesson is that you should develop the skill of original thinking or creative thinking. Why do people rave about Rajnikant, Shah Rukh Khan, or Tom Cruise? Because they are original. There is something unique about each of them. Nobody respects copycats. Originality is what earns admiration. So whatever your chosen field, strive for originality. When we watch a new movie, visit a new restaurant, or buy a new gadget, we expect something different and feel disappointed if they are run of the mill. The same principle applies to you when you attend a job interview or a promotion interview, or you apply for a business loan to a bank. You will be judged by how original you are and how well you stand out from the rest of the crowd. Let me share some powerful examples of creative thinking in action. There was a time when computers could be operated only by tech geeks. Steve Jobs changed all that by introducing the Macintosh, the first computer with a graphical user interface and a mouse that could be operated even by laymen. He didn't stop there. He gave us a host of user-friendly products: the iMac, the iPod, iPhone, iPad, and iCloud. Steve Jobs should be your role model for creativity. Creativity is not limited to the digital world. Consider these everyday examples. The wheel was invented in 3500 BC. But strangely, nobody thought of putting wheels under suitcases till about 40 years ago. And people used to carry heavy suitcases by hand with great effort. Today, we have trolleys, that is, suitcases with wheels under them, making travel effortless. A Japanese shampoo company faced a problem. Empty plastic bottles occasionally made it past inspection, annoying customers. While some managers proposed expensive solutions like X-ray scanning or infrared scanning, one manager suggested a simple fix. Place a fan by the conveyor belt, rotating at just enough speed to blow away empty plastic bottles, but not bottles filled with shampoo. This is creativity at work. These examples show that creativity isn't limited to artists, musicians, writers, scientists, or inventors. Anyone can be creative in any profession. Yet, when we look around, we find that the vast majority of people are incapable of creative thinking. Why is this so? A major culprit is our education system, which often prioritizes conformity, standardized testing, and rote learning over creative thinking. Let me narrate the story of Carl Friedrich Gauss, one of the greatest mathematicians of all time. Once, when he was in primary school in Germany, a teacher wanted to write a letter to a friend during the class hours. He asked his students to add up all the numbers from 1 to 100, thinking that it would keep them busy for at least 15 minutes. But no sooner did he begin writing his letter, Gauss stood up and said, "Sir, the sum is 5050. The teacher was annoyed. He thought Gauss was playing a prank on him and asked him to get out of the class. About 10 minutes later, the smartest of the remaining boys, adding all the numbers the hard way, stood up and said, "Sir, the sum is 5050. The teacher was astonished. He called Gauss inside and asked him how he did it. Gauss replied, "If you examine the numbers from 1 to 100, they form a pattern. The first number and the last number, 1 and 100, add up to 101. The second number and the second last number, 2 and 99, add up to 101. The third number and the third last number, 3 and 98, add up to 101. So the numbers from 1 to 100 can be grouped into 50 pairs, the 50th pair being 50 and 51, each pair adding up to 101. So adding up all the numbers from 1 to 100 is like adding 101 50 times, which is the same as multiplying 101 by 50, which is 5050. The teacher said, "You are going to be a great guy someday," and Gauss really went on to become a great mathematician. Now, if you remember your school arithmetic, this is the well-known formula for the sum of the first n natural numbers. S is equal to n into n plus 1 by 2. It was discovered by Carl Friedrich Gauss when he was in primary school. This story illustrates how our education system often fails to nurture creativity. While Gauss thrived, we don't know how many other children with creative potential fell by the wayside. Their creativity suppressed by our school system. The great American orator Robert Greene Ingersoll correctly said, "Our educational system polishes the pebbles and dims the diamonds." This problem is particularly acute in India. Here, students are encouraged to memorize and reproduce passages verbatim from the textbooks rather than think originally. But once you go out into the world, you will find that employers want candidates who can think critically and solve problems creatively. Cultivate original thinking. It will set you apart in the job market and beyond. Dear students, your fifth and final key to success is developing the habit of critical thinking or scientific temper. Ever wonder why India produces so few Nobel laureates or patent holders? The reason is we as a people lack scientific temper. We are prone to superstitions, meaningless rituals, and blind faith. Just as a beautiful garden cannot flourish amid weeds, a scientific culture cannot thrive as long as the minds of the people are cluttered with the weeds of superstition. That's why the Constitution of India makes the inculcation of scientific temper a fundamental duty of all citizens. Don't assume that a science degree guarantees a scientific mindset. Many people memorize scientific facts for exams, but fail to apply rational thinking in real life. Many a physics lecturer teaches the scientific theory of solar and lunar eclipses in the classroom, but still clings to his belief that Rahu and Ketu, the imaginary demons which are supposed to devour the sun and the moon during eclipses, he believes in them. Many a chemistry lecturer teaches the scientific law of conservation of matter and mass and energy in the classroom, which states that matter can neither be created nor destroyed, but only transformed from one form to another. And is still prepared to believe that a certain God-man can create something out of nothing. Even top academicians may succumb to irrational beliefs. Sometime back, the director of IIT Mandi in Himachal Pradesh said that landslides in Himachal Pradesh occurred because people ate meat, and that he had once exorcised ghosts from the house of a friend. Recently, the director of IIT Madras claimed wrongly that cow urine can heal many diseases. Our education system seems to merely transform an illiterate, gullible person into a literate, gullible person, and an uneducated, superstitious person into an educated, superstitious person. Remember, an educated fool is more dangerous than an uneducated fool. Critical thinking is necessary not only to excel in the fields of science and technology, but also to protect yourself from fraudsters in your day-to-day life. Without critical thinking, your life will be a case of gullible travels, and you will fall prey to con men, dubious businessmen, and self-styled godmen. Countless fraudsters offer therapies to make you tall, to make you fair, to make you lose weight, and so on. None of these therapies work. There are conmen who will promise you various types of money multiplication schemes. It is their money which will get multiplied, not yours. I know of any number of people who are financially ruined by trusting such conmen. There are people who pose as godmen as if God had singled them out for special favors. You don't need any middlemen between you and God. My advice to you is steer clear of all such godmen. Just as there are well-dressed fools, there are well-dressed foolish ideas. Among these are astrology, Nadi Josium, Kili Josiums, tarot cards, palmistry, numerology, nameology, the idea that if you change the spelling of your name, your luck will change. Good luck charms, evil eye, power of curses, ghosts, demonic possession, Vastu Shastra, Feng Shui, crystal power, channeling, miracle cures. Don't be shocked if this list contains some items you passionately believe in. Though scientifically false, these beliefs persist, fueled by mass media. As the philosopher Bertrand Russell observed, the fact that an opinion has been widely held is no evidence that it is not utterly absurd. Indeed, in view of the silliness of the majority of humankind, a widespread belief is more likely to be foolish than sensible. I would appeal to you not to believe in these silly pseudosciences. Astrology in particular is pure nonsense. It is based on the pre-Copernican geocentric theory of the universe. If 10 astrologers prepare your horoscope, you will likely get 10 different interpretations. Throughout history, wise men from the Buddha to Chanakya to Swami Vivekananda have condemned astrology. All scientifically conducted tests have shown that astrology doesn't work and that astrologers can't predict at higher than chance probabilities. Yet, millions of people regulate their lives, travel, marriage, religious functions based on astrology and observe the Rahu Kala. I am particularly concerned about astrology's impact on marriages, as countless promising proposals are rejected solely because an astrologer deems the horoscopes incompatible. Thousands of women remain unmarried due to the so-called Mangal Dosham. The famous actress Aishwarya Rai also suffered from Mangal Dosham, but in her case, astrologers overcame the problem by first marrying her to a banana tree and then marrying her to Abhishek Bachchan. Is there anything more absurd than this? Your education has been in vain if it has not instilled in you the habit of critical thinking and the ability to distinguish between fact and superstition. Dear students, I know that most young people, especially at your age, are not particularly fond of advice. It is said that there are two kinds of fools, those who give advice and those who do not take it. I decided to belong to the first category, and I hope that you do not belong to the second. I would like to once again thank the Jamal Mohammed College for doing me the honor of being the chief guest at this function, and I wish all of you the very best in your professional and personal life. Thank you.